Have you ever felt like you're stuck in an endless loop of negative thoughts? Like no matter how hard you try, something always pulls you back? Maybe you've read about the law of attraction. Maybe you've even tried to apply it. But there's this invisible wall, this mental fog that clouds your vision and blocks your progress. Today, we're going to shine a light through that fog. We're going to explore one of the most underestimated yet powerful forces in reality creation: positive thinking. In the previous video, we laid the foundation by exploring what the law of attraction truly is. We revealed that your thoughts are not just passing moments. They're energy, they're frequency, they're magnetic. And like magnets, they attract experiences into your life that match their vibration. What you focus on expands. What you dwell on begins to shape your external world. In simple terms, your mind is not only the projector, it's the scriptwriter, the camera, the actor, and the editor of your life's movie. But here's the catch. If the thoughts you're running on autopilot are negative, fear-based, and self-critical, then you're unknowingly programming your reality with those same themes. You're attracting more lack, more limitation, and more resistance without even realizing it. That's why this video is crucial. Because the law of attraction is not just about thinking of what you want. It's about aligning your entire being with the energy of what you want. And that alignment begins with the quality of your thoughts. If you want different results, you need a different mindset. You need to understand how to shift from self-doubt to self-belief, from fear to hope, from frustration to clarity. Positive thinking is not naive optimism. It is the conscious decision to focus on possibility rather than limitation, to choose growth over guilt, and to see opportunities where others only see problems. But let's be honest, it's not always easy. Many of us grew up in environments where negativity was the norm. We were told not to dream too big. We were warned to be realistic. We were taught that expecting the best often leads to disappointment. And so, our minds learned to scan for danger instead of joy, to doubt instead of trust, to criticize instead of celebrate. But what if I told you that none of those patterns are fixed? What if I told you that, starting today, you can begin to rewire your brain, reprogram your energy, and realign your frequency with the life you truly want? Because that's exactly what this video is here to help you do. We're not just talking about thinking positive in a surface level way. We're going to dive deep into the science and energy behind your thoughts. We'll explore how your brain filters reality based on your focus, how your emotions reinforce your beliefs, and how consistent positive thought can raise your vibrational set point. You'll learn practical tools to identify and shift negative thought loops, daily mental habits to elevate your mood, and emotional techniques to stay grounded even when challenges arise. The truth is, positive thinking is not something you do once. It's a practice, a discipline, a way of being. And the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Like a muscle, your mind can be trained to default to confidence, hope, and inspiration instead of doubt, worry, and regret. And as you do that, something incredible happens. Your frequency begins to rise. You start noticing synchronicities. Doors begin to open. People show up. Opportunities align. Why? Because your internal state has shifted. You've moved from resistance to receptivity, from fear to flow, from confusion to clarity. That's when the law of attraction starts working with you instead of against you. That's when you stop chasing and start allowing. That's when life begins to respond to who you are, not just what you say you want. So if you've been struggling to manifest, if your life feels like it's on pause, or if you're tired of feeling stuck in the same emotional cycle, then pay close attention. This video will guide you step by step through the process of transforming your thinking from a source of sabotage into your greatest superpower. And here's the most exciting part. Once your thoughts become aligned, you're ready for the next level: visualization. Because when a positive mind visualizes, it doesn't just see pictures. It feels them. It energizes them. It brings them to life. That's why this video is not only the bridge between knowing and becoming, but also the foundation for what comes next. In our next video, we'll teach you how to take your elevated thinking and turn it into vivid mental imagery that programs your subconscious mind for success. But none of that can truly work unless you first learn to shift your focus, master your mindset, and build a habit of positive thinking. This is where the change begins. This is where you reclaim the power of your mind. This is where you stop being the victim of your thoughts and start being the creator of your reality. So take a deep breath, let go of the noise, and open yourself to a new possibility. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover how to break the loop, shift your vibration, and transform your life one thought at a time. Let's begin. Let's begin with one of the most powerful and fundamental truths at the heart of the law of attraction. Every single thought you think carries a vibrational frequency. This is not just a poetic idea or a motivational metaphor. It's a principle, grounded in both metaphysics and modern science. Everything in the universe vibrates. From the movement of galaxies to the pulse of your heartbeat, from the waves of the ocean to the electrical activity in your brain, everything is in constant motion. And your thoughts are no exception. Thoughts are energy. When you think a thought, you're not just having a silent conversation with yourself. You are sending out a vibrational signal into the quantum field. That signal, like a tuning fork, resonates with other energies that match it. This is the vibrational principle in action. Positive thoughts, those rooted in gratitude, joy, hope, love, confidence, and peace, produce high-frequency vibrations. These are expansive, open, and magnetic energies that attract experiences, people, and opportunities that reflect their nature. When you consistently dwell in these states, you become a vibrational match for abundance, for love, for health, and for success. It's like you're broadcasting on a frequency that says, I am ready, I am aligned, I am open to receive, and the universe responds accordingly. On the other hand, negative thoughts, those fueled by fear, shame, anger, doubt, jealousy, or guilt, create low-frequency vibrations. These frequencies are constricting. They signal the body into survival mode, narrow your awareness, and send out an energetic broadcast of resistance. In this state, the law of attraction still works, but it mirrors back more of the same: more frustration, more stagnation, more experiences that confirm your negative expectations. The law is not judging you. It is simply responding to the signal you emit. This is why the way you feel is such an important compass. Your emotions are not random. They are feedback mechanisms, letting you know what frequency you're currently tuned into. If you feel anxious, drained, or heavy, you are most likely entertaining thoughts that pull your vibration down. If you feel excited, light, or inspired, you are aligned with thoughts that raise your vibration. Think of it like this: your thoughts are the music, your emotions are the dance, and your vibration is the rhythm your reality follows. The better the music, the more fluid the dance, the more beautiful the rhythm you radiate into the world. The mistake many people make is believing they have to force outcomes with action alone, ignoring the vibrational quality behind those actions. But aligned action comes naturally when your internal state matches your external desires. In fact, one powerful shift happens the moment you begin observing your thoughts through the lens of energy. Suddenly, it's not just about what you think, but how you feel when you think it. That awareness is your gateway to mastery. When you begin choosing thoughts not only based on logic, but also on how they make you feel, you start fine-tuning your vibrational signature. And that fine-tuning is exactly what transforms your reality. So let's bring this into something you can feel in your body right now. Take a moment to think about a time when you felt genuinely grateful, not just saying the words, but actually experiencing the emotion. Notice how your body softens, your breath deepens, your chest opens. That's a high-frequency state. Now think of a moment when you are stuck in worry or resentment. Notice how your shoulders tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your energy contracts. That's the difference. And you have the power to shift from one to the other simply by guiding your focus. The more you practice this shift, the more natural it becomes. You begin to rewire the patterns in your brain, regulate your emotional responses, and elevate the baseline of your vibration. And here's the real beauty. The universe doesn't need perfection from you. It simply needs consistency. The goal is not to be positive all the time. That's unrealistic and unnecessary. The goal is to become aware of when your vibration drops and to have the tools to bring it back up, to shift gently, compassionately, and consistently toward a more empowering internal state. Because every time you do that, you are not only changing how you feel, you are reshaping your future. You are tuning into a frequency where your desires already exist. And as we will explore in the next video, once your thoughts are positive and your frequency is high, you become a powerful creator through visualization. Because visualization is not about imagination alone. It is about emotionally experiencing the future now. But you can't get there unless you first built the vibrational foundation. That is why positive thinking is not just helpful, it is essential. It is the energetic signal that sets everything into motion. So remember, every thought matters, every feeling counts, and every shift you make in your inner world echoes into your outer world. You are always vibrating. The question is, are you vibrating in alignment with the life you truly want? Let this be the moment you start answering yes. To fully understand why positive thinking is such a powerful force in reality creation, we must look beyond metaphysics and dive into neuroscience. Your brain is not fixed. It is a dynamic, ever-evolving system capable of change and adaptation. This is thanks to a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout your life. Every time you think a thought, especially when repeated with emotion, you strengthen a neural pathway. If you constantly think thoughts rooted in fear, doubt, or limitation, those pathways grow stronger, becoming your brain's default setting. But the opposite is also true. When you consciously choose thoughts of hope, gratitude, confidence, and possibility, you begin to rewire your brain to default toward those states. Think of it like a hiking trail. The more you walk a certain path, the more defined and automatic it becomes. By choosing positive thinking consistently, you are creating new trails in your mind trails that lead to more empowering emotions, healthier responses, and more aligned actions. But your thoughts do more than shape internal pathways. They also determine how you perceive reality through a powerful filter in your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. The RAS is a bundle of nerves located at the base of your brainstem that acts like a gatekeeper for information. Every second, your senses are bombarded with millions of stimuli sounds, sights, sensations, and data. But your conscious mind can only process a fraction of that. The rest decides what gets through. And what does it use to decide? Your focus, your beliefs, your dominant thoughts. If you constantly think about how nothing ever works out for you, the RAS will filter your experience to highlight situations, conversations, and patterns that confirm that belief. You will literally miss opportunities, ideas, and resources that contradict that narrative because your brain is wired to ignore them. But when you shift your focus toward gratitude, abundance, and trust, your RAS begins to filter reality differently. Suddenly, you notice things you overlooked before. A message, a person, a sign, an idea. It seems like the world is changing, but in truth, it's your perception that has expanded. This is not magic. It is biology. Your mind is not a passive observer of life. It is an active participant. And what you focus on, you reinforce. Your radar shows that your thoughts are not just private. They are shaping your reality by controlling your attention. This is where the law of attraction and neuroscience beautifully align. When your thoughts change, your perception changes. When your perception changes, your behavior changes. And when your behavior changes, your life follows. But it doesn't stop at mental patterns. Positive thinking has a direct and measurable effect on your physical and emotional health. Numerous studies have shown that people who cultivate a positive mindset tend to have stronger immune systems, lower levels of inflammation, reduced risk of heart disease, and longer life expectancy. They sleep better, experience less chronic pain, and are more resilient in the face of illness. Emotionally, they report higher levels of life satisfaction, stronger social connections, and greater ability to cope with stress. Why? Because thoughts are not isolated events. They produce chemicals. They signal hormones. A thought of joy releases dopamine and serotonin, enhancing your mood and promoting healing. A thought of stress or fear triggers cortisol and adrenaline, which are helpful in short bursts, but damaging over time if activated continuously. This means that by changing your habitual thinking, you are not only elevating your frequency for the law of attraction to work more effectively, you are also upgrading your biology. You are building a mind and body environment that supports clarity, energy, and vitality. It's like tuning your inner system to a channel where health, creativity, and inspiration are the default. And this creates a feedback loop. When you think better, you feel better. When you feel better, you act better. When you act better, life reflects that back to you, reinforcing your belief that change is possible. This loop becomes stronger every time you make the conscious choice to reframe a negative thought or interrupt a limiting pattern. And here's something even more empowering. Your brain does not care whether a thought is real or imagined. It responds the same way. That means you can use mental rehearsal imagining positive outcomes, rehearsing empowering conversations, seeing yourself succeed to train your brain in advance. Olympic athletes, elite performers, and visionary leaders use this technique constantly. And you can too. The key is repetition plus emotion. That's what builds new neural wiring. And once those new circuits are active, your subconscious begins to take over. What used to be effort becomes your new normal. You begin waking up with more clarity, facing challenges with more grace, seeing the world through the lens of opportunity rather than danger. This is why positive thinking is not just a feel-good habit. It is a rewiring tool. It is a daily decision to sculpt your mind into a space that matches your highest vision. When paired with practices like visualization and affirmation, which we will explore in the next videos, it becomes a rocket fuel for transformation. But the foundation always begins here, because without a shift in thought, no technique can truly stick. So remember this, your brain is listening, your body is responding, and your reality is reflecting. You have the ability right now, in this very moment, to start reshaping your life one thought at a time. And when you do, you're not just activating a new mindset, you're activating a new future. To bring everything we've explored into clearer focus, let's look at real-life examples of how the quality of your thinking shapes the outcome of your life. These are not abstract theories. They are reflected in the stories of people you know, admire, or perhaps have never heard of, but whose lives were radically transformed by the power of their thoughts. Take athletes, for example. Champions are not just physically gifted. What separates an elite performer from an average one is often not talent, but mindset. Michael Jordan, considered by many to be the greatest basketball player of all time, was cut from his high school team. Instead of internalizing that as failure, he used it as fuel. He visualized himself succeeding. He repeated positive statements to himself. He trained not only his body, but also his mind to believe he was already a champion. That belief became his identity, and the world eventually reflected it. Serena Williams, one of the most decorated athletes in tennis history, speaks often about the role of positive thinking in her training. She doesn't just practice her serve. She practices believing in herself under pressure. When she steps onto the court, her mindset is as sharp as her technique. She focuses on what she wants, not what she fears. That is vibrational alignment in motion. The same pattern shows up in business. Think about someone like Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She started with $5,000, no background in fashion, and was told no by countless manufacturers. But she maintained a clear and positive vision of success. She wrote it down. She visualized it daily. She spoke as if it were already true. She chose to see every rejection as redirection. That belief kept her aligned with the frequency of her dream. And today, she is one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the world. Her story is not just one of strategy. It is a story of mindset. Her inner world shaped her outer success. And yet, the opposite is equally true. Many people have all the external resources, talent, money, connections, but their inner dialogue sabotages them. Their thoughts become the very thing that holds them back. Imagine someone who dreams of starting a business. They have the skills. They've done the research, but every time an opportunity arises, their mind says, "You're not ready. What if you fail? What will people think?" That thought creates a feeling of fear, which leads to hesitation, which then results in missed chances. Eventually, they label themselves as unlucky or unworthy, not realizing that it was their thinking, not the world, that closed the door. This is self-sabotage in action. The law of attraction is always responding, not just to your conscious desires, but to your dominant frequency. If that frequency is doubt, worry, or fear, the results will mirror it. There's a well-known case of a brilliant artist who had opportunities to exhibit internationally. His work was extraordinary, but internally, he believed he wasn't good enough. Every time someone praised his art, he dismissed it. Every time a gallery reached out, he found a reason to delay or decline. Eventually, the offer stopped. Not because his work changed, but because his vibration of unworthiness pushed away the very things he said he wanted. The contrast between these examples is powerful. It shows that the quality of your thoughts is not just influencing how you feel, it is dictating the trajectory of your entire life. Positive thinking is not about pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing a perspective that empowers you to act, to persevere, and to align. It is about seeing challenges as stepping stones, not walls. It is about expecting solutions, not rehearsing problems. And over time, that mindset becomes a magnetic force. Opportunities find you. People are drawn to you. Synchronicities unfold. Your reality begins to reflect your new internal identity. This is not a coincidence. It is the law of attraction, responding to your dominant signal. When you believe in yourself, when you expect things to work in your favor, when you choose to focus on what is possible rather than what is broken, you shift into a new energetic timeline. And from that place, success in any form becomes not only possible, it becomes inevitable. But you must be the one to decide. Will you let your thoughts serve your expansion or your limitation? Will you allow fear to lead or let belief guide the way? Every person you admire today once faced that same choice. What made the difference was not what they had. It was what they chose to believe. And if they could do it, so can you. Because the most powerful tool you will ever have is not something outside of you. It is your own mind. Train it, shape it, and use it as the vehicle that carries you to the life you are meant to create. Before you can truly shift your mindset, you have to know what you're working with. One of the most powerful steps in transforming your life is learning how to recognize the patterns of negative thinking that may be quietly shaping your reality. These patterns often operate beneath your conscious awareness, running in the background like outdated software. And yet, they influence every choice you make, every reaction you have, and every outcome you attract. So let's bring them into the light. Let's identify them, not to judge ourselves, but to take back control. The first and most common pattern is self-criticism. This is the voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough, or not capable. It says things like, "You always mess up," or "You're never going to get this right." It convinces you that your worth is conditional, based on performance, appearance, or the approval of others. The danger of self-criticism is that it becomes a self-fulfilling cycle. When you constantly talk down to yourself, your energy contracts, your confidence fades, you hesitate to take action or pursue goals. And then, when things don't go as planned, the inner critic says, "See, I told you so." It becomes a loop that traps you in self-doubt. Another toxic thought pattern is pessimism. This is the habit of expecting the worst. It sounds like, "Things never work out for me," or "Why even try? Nothing ever changes." Pessimism convinces you that the future holds more pain than possibility. And because the law of attraction responds to your dominant focus, this outlook often manifests as more disappointment, more delay, and more stagnation. Pessimism dims your vision. It makes you blind to opportunities. Even when something good happens, you might dismiss it as luck or assume it won't last. Over time, this mindset can erode your hope and lock you into a life that feels smaller than your potential. Then there's the pattern of complaining. This one is subtle because it often feels harmless. You might say, "The weather is awful today," or "People are so rude," or "This traffic is unbearable." While these comments may seem minor, the habit of complaining reinforces a worldview where you are constantly pointing out what's wrong. It trains your brain to scan for problems instead of solutions. And again, because your focus creates your reality, the more you complain, the more reasons you will find to keep complaining. It becomes a cycle of energetic depletion. Your mood lowers, your interactions become tense, and you unintentionally push away experiences that could uplift you. One of the most limiting thought patterns is victimhood. This is the belief that life is happening to you, and you have no power to change it. It sounds like, no matter what I do, something always goes wrong, or people just take advantage of me, or the system is against me. Victim thinking strips you of your agency. It makes you feel like you're at the mercy of outside forces. And while it's true that challenges and injustices exist, the danger of this mindset is that it removes you from the seat of creation. It convinces you that you're stuck, that there's no use trying, that everything is outside of your control. But the law of attraction doesn't respond to what's fair. It responds to what you focus on. If your dominant vibration is helplessness, that is what you will continue to experience. One of the most damaging forms of victim thinking is the belief that the universe or life is against you. Thoughts like, "Everything is against me," or "The world just doesn't want me to succeed," carry a powerful energetic message. They communicate mistrust, resentment, and fear. And because these thoughts are often accompanied by strong emotions, they create a magnetic pull and attracts more of the same. This is not punishment. It is alignment. The law of attraction mirrors your emotional and vibrational state. If you believe you are unsupported, you will notice more situations where you feel isolated. If you believe you are destined to fail, you will overlook the pathways to success that are right in front of you. These thought patterns may feel familiar because they've been with you for years, maybe even decades. They may have come from parents, teachers, society, or painful experiences. But just because they were learned doesn't mean they are true. And just because they feel automatic doesn't mean they are permanent. The power lies in your awareness. Once you recognize a thought as limiting, you have the power to pause, question it, and shift it. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. And as the observer, you get to decide which thoughts to feed and which ones to release. The goal is not to never have a negative thought. That would be impossible. The goal is to become so aware that when one shows up, you don't let it take over. You don't let it define your day or your direction. You become the gatekeeper of your own mind. And when you do that, everything begins to change. You start noticing moments of self-criticism and replacing them with self-compassion. You catch yourself expecting the worst and begin imagining the best. You stop complaining and start appreciating. You shift from victim to creator. This is the first step in transforming your vibration. And once your vibration changes, so does everything else. The journey begins by recognizing the thought patterns that no longer serve you. Because once you see them clearly, you can let them go and make space for something better. Now that we've explored the common types of negative thinking, it's time to bring this knowledge into your own life through a simple yet powerful exercise. This moment is about pausing, reflecting, and taking honest inventory of the thoughts that have been quietly shaping your world. So wherever you are, take a deep breath and grab a journal, a notebook, or even the Notes app on your phone. For the next 5 minutes, I want you to write down the top 3 to 5 negative thoughts that seem to repeat most often in your mind. These are not just random ideas. These are the background beliefs that subtly influence how you see yourself, how you interpret the world, and what you believe is possible for you. Try to be as specific and honest as possible. Maybe one of your thoughts is, "I'm not good enough," or "I always mess things up." Perhaps it sounds like, "Things never work out for me," or "No one really supports me." It could be about money, like "I'll never have enough," or about love, like "People always leave me." Whatever it is, just write it down without judgment. This is not about shaming yourself. It's about becoming aware. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Now, once you've written down your thoughts, I want you to take it a step deeper. Look at each one and ask yourself this question: where did this belief come from? Trace it back. Was it something someone told you as a child? Was it a moment in school when you failed a test and felt humiliated? Was it the result of a breakup, a financial setback, or being compared to someone else? Often, our most limiting thoughts are not our own. They were planted by the words of others, by societies, expectations, by past pain that was never fully processed. But just because something was said to you doesn't mean it is true. And just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it defines your future. When you begin to identify the origin of your thoughts, you start to realize that they are not facts. They are interpretations. And interpretations can change. This is a pivotal moment, because once you recognize that a thought is not the ultimate truth, you create space. Space for curiosity, space for healing, space to choose a new narrative. You might begin to see that the belief, "I'm not good enough," came from a teacher who once embarrassed you in front of the class, or that "I'll never succeed" was modeled by a parent who struggled and projected their fears onto you. The more you understand the roots of these thoughts, the more power you gain to release them. You begin to understand you've been carrying stories that were never yours to begin with. And here's the powerful truth. Just because a thought is familiar does not mean it's aligned with your future. Familiarity is not the same as truth. Many of us are loyal to thoughts that keep us small simply because they feel comfortable. But comfort is not the goal. Expansion is. Growth is. Alignment is. So as you review your list, I want you to gently acknowledge each thought and say to yourself, I see you. I understand where you came from, but I no longer choose to live by you. This small act of conscious awareness sends a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. It says, I am taking my power back. I am no longer on autopilot. I am becoming the creator of my inner world. And when you shift your inner world, the outer world eventually follows. This exercise is not about fixing everything in 5 minutes. It's about starting the process. It's about waking up. It's about deciding that from this point forward, you will not blindly believe every thought that enters your mind. You will question it. You will trace it. You will rewrite it. Because that is your right. That is your power. The law of attraction responds to your dominant vibration, and your vibration is shaped by your dominant thoughts. So when you identify the ones that no longer serve you, you open the doorway to shift your frequency, to rise into a new timeline, and to welcome in a life that reflects your truth rather than your trauma. This is where real change begins. Not by forcing yourself to be positive, but by becoming aware of what has been unconsciously negative. Not by denying the past, but by choosing to no longer be defined by it. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them, questions them, and replaces them. And right now, in this very moment, you are doing the courageous work of reclaiming your mind. So take another deep breath. Honor the thoughts you wrote down, and remind yourself that this awareness is already changing your energy. You've just taken a major step forward. And the next step is to learn how to transform those negative thoughts into ones that empower you, support you, and align with the future you are ready to create. That's exactly where we're going next. Now that you've identified your most common negative thoughts and traced their origins, the next step is to take your power back through a method called cognitive reframing. This is not about pretending bad thoughts never happen. It's about learning how to meet those thoughts with awareness and then shift them into a more supportive direction. Cognitive reframing is a simple 3-step technique that you can use anytime, anywhere, to interrupt the old story and rewrite a new one. The first step is recognition. You must become the watcher of your mind. Start catching the moment when a negative thought appears. Don't push it away. Don't argue with it. Just observe. You might hear yourself thinking, I'm not smart enough for this, or nothing ever works out for me. Pause right there. The goal is not to judge the thought, but to recognize that it is not your truth. It is just a mental habit. The second step is questioning. Ask the thought directly. Is this absolutely true? Where is the proof? Often, you'll find that these thoughts are not based on facts, but on fear, assumptions, or outdated experiences. For example, if your thought is I always fail, challenge it. Always? Have you really failed every single time? Is it possible that you've succeeded in small ways you've overlooked? If your thought is, I'll never be loved, ask yourself, who said that? Where did I learn that? Is it really true? Or is it something I picked up from past hurt? This line of questioning creates space between you and the thought. It breaks the trance. It reminds you that your thoughts are not facts. They are stories, and stories can be rewritten. The third and most important step is replacement. This is where you take the disempowering thought and consciously reframe it into a more supportive, uplifting version. Not a fake one, but one that moves you toward the energy you want to embody. So instead of, "I can't do this," shift to, "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of, "I'm not good enough," reframe to, "I am growing, and every day I am becoming better." Instead of, "No one cares about me," try, "I am learning to care for myself, and I attract meaningful connections." The key is to keep the new thought believable and emotionally resonant. You're not trying to leap from despair to bliss in one sentence. You're just shifting the vibration. And every time you do, you strengthen a new neural pathway in your brain. Over time, this becomes your new default. To make this more real, let's do a practice right now. Go back to the 3 to 5 negative thoughts you wrote earlier. Read each one aloud slowly. Then for each, apply the 3-step process. First, recognize it. Say, "This is a thought, not a truth." Second, ask, "Is this always true? What else could be true?" And third, rewrite the thought into something more aligned with the future you want to create. For example, let's say your original thought is, "I'll never succeed." Step 1, recognize. Say to yourself, "That's a limiting belief, not a fact." Step 2, question. "Have I succeeded in anything before? What small wins have I ignored?" Step 3, reframe. "I may not be where I want yet, but I am making progress, and every step is part of my success story." Do this with all your statements. You'll begin to feel your energy shift. Your mind opens. Your body relaxes. Your emotions soften. This is the power of conscious thinking. When you practice reframing consistently, you train your brain to default, to clarity instead of confusion, to confidence instead of fear, to progress instead of paralysis. This doesn't mean the negative thoughts won't come back. They might, but now you have the tools. You are no longer at their mercy. You can meet them with presence, question their truth, and rewrite your inner narrative in real time. And here's where the law of attraction becomes deeply aligned with this work. Every time you reframe a thought, you raise your vibration. You shift from resistance to flow. You tune your energy to the frequency of the life you want to create. And when your energy shifts, your reality begins to mirror that shift back to you. You start to see new opportunities. You notice more support. You feel more in control. That's because your internal dialogue sets the tone for everything else. What you say to yourself becomes what you expect. What you expect becomes what you focus on. What you focus on becomes what you attract. So if you want to attract better, you must start by thinking better. And to think better, you must reframe what no longer serves you. This is not a one-time fix. It is a lifelong practice. But every time you catch a negative thought and turn it around, you reclaim your power. You become the conscious author of your mind. You stop running the old script and start writing a new one. And that script leads to new feelings, new behaviors, new outcomes. That is the foundation of change. So keep your journal close. Keep your awareness sharp. The next time a thought tells you you're not enough, you'll be ready. You'll pause. You'll question. And you'll reframe. And with every shift, you step more fully into the version of you who thinks with clarity, acts with confidence, and lives in alignment. That is who you truly are. And that is who you are becoming, one thought at a time. If you want to cultivate a mindset that naturally leans toward positivity, one of the most powerful and transformational daily habits you can adopt is the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a nice feeling. It is a frequency. It is an energetic signal that shifts your entire vibration from lack into abundance, from fear into trust, and from chaos into clarity. Practicing gratitude daily rewires your brain expands your awareness, and unlocks emotional states that align you with your highest potential. It is the simplest tool with the greatest impact, and it is accessible to you right now. When you begin each day with gratitude, you send a clear message to your subconscious mind and to the universe that says, I already have enough. I already am enough, and I am ready to receive more. This mindset is the foundation of all manifestation, because the law of attraction responds not to your wishes, but to your dominant vibration. And gratitude is the fastest way to elevate your vibration. Neuroscience supports this. Studies show that people who practice daily gratitude have higher levels of happiness, lower levels of stress and depression, stronger immune systems, and greater emotional resilience. Why? Because gratitude shifts your attention away from what's missing and anchors you into what is present and supportive. It trains your mind to see possibility rather than limitation. It brings your focus into the now, where all your power resides. Even just 5 minutes a day of intentional gratitude can begin to shift your entire inner state. And over time, it changes how you interpret life, how you respond to challenges, and how you show up for your goals. You become more optimistic, more energized, and more magnetic to positive outcomes. To begin this practice, all you need is a journal or a quiet moment. Each morning or evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 to 5 things you feel genuinely grateful for. Be specific. Go beyond the surface. Instead of writing, I'm grateful for my family, try, I'm grateful for the laughter I shared with my sister today. Instead of, I'm grateful for food, say, I'm grateful for the warm soup I had for dinner that made me feel nourished and cared for. The more detail and emotion you bring into your gratitude, the more powerful the effect. It is not about how many things you list. It is about how deeply you feel them. You can also practice gratitude in the moment throughout your day. When something good happens, pause and acknowledge it. Say silently to yourself, thank you. More of this, please. This creates a ripple of positivity that builds momentum and expands your awareness of how supported you truly are. Another powerful way to enhance this practice is to express gratitude for what has not yet arrived. This is where gratitude and the law of attraction merge into quantum alignment. When you say, I'm grateful for the opportunities that are already on their way, or I'm grateful for the peace that is unfolding in my life, you are sending a signal to your subconscious that it is already done. You begin to embody the energy of your desired reality before it arrives. And that embodiment speeds up the manifestation process. Your feelings become your future. This is not pretending. It is aligning. Because when you feel grateful in advance, you activate the same emotional state as if the manifestation were already here. And from that state, you begin to attract people, ideas, and events that reflect it. Gratitude is also a healing force. When you are going through something difficult, practicing gratitude does not mean denying your pain. It means widening your focus. It means reminding yourself that even in the darkness, there is still light. That even in struggle, there are lessons, support, and growth. Writing down something as simple as, I'm grateful for my breath, or I'm grateful that I made it through today, can shift your emotional state and bring you back to center. Gratitude is not just for the good days. It is for all days. It is your anchor, your reset button, your vibrational elevator. And the more consistently you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, gratitude is no longer something you do. It becomes who you are. You start walking through life with open eyes and an open heart. You notice the small details. You feel connected. You feel abundant. And from that state, your ability to manifest increases exponentially. That is why gratitude is not just a suggestion. It is a cornerstone practice for anyone who wants to align their mind, emotions, and energy with the highest version of themselves. In fact, it is so foundational that we've created an entire video dedicated to the power of gratitude journaling, where you'll learn more advanced techniques, specific prompts, and ways to integrate it into your morning or evening routine. But for now, all you need to remember is this: gratitude is your bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It brings coherence to your heart, clarity to your mind, and alignment to your energy. It opens you to receive what you've been asking for. It tunes you into the station of abundance, where all the good you seek already exists. So begin today. Start small. Write one sentence. Speak one thank you. Feel one moment fully. And let that be enough. Because in that moment, you are changing your vibration. You are choosing a new point of attraction. And that single choice repeated daily has the power to transform everything. Another daily practice that can dramatically shift your mindset and elevate your vibration is the use of positive affirmations. Affirmations are short, powerful statements that declare who you are, what you believe, and what you are choosing to embody. When used consistently, they reprogram your subconscious mind and realign your emotional frequency with the reality you want to experience. Words have energy, and the words you speak to yourself become the script of your life. If you've spent years saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "nothing ever works out for me," those statements have taken root. They've shaped your identity, influenced your choices, and attracted experiences that matched that frequency. But just as your past words created limitations, your present words can create liberation. Positive affirmations allow you to consciously install new beliefs. They are like seeds you plant into your subconscious. With repetition, emotion, and faith, they begin to grow into new patterns of thought, which lead to new actions and ultimately new results. For affirmations to truly work, they must be stated in the present tense, spoken with conviction, and repeated often. For example, instead of saying, "I will be confident," say, "I am confident." Instead of, "Someday I'll succeed," say, "I am already aligned with success." These statements create an energetic bridge between your current reality and the one you are stepping into. They activate the power of the law of attraction by aligning your vibration with the outcome you desire. The key is consistency. Repeating affirmations once a day won't change much. But when you repeat them every morning, every night, and in moments of doubt, they begin to overwrite the old stories running in your mind. You begin to believe them. You begin to feel them. And that feeling is the magnetic force that draws your desires closer. Your brain is always listening. Every word you speak creates either expansion or contraction. So choose words that expand you, words that remind you of your power, words that lift you into the version of yourself that already exists on a higher frequency. You can write your own affirmations or use ones that resonate with your current goals. If you want to build confidence, you might repeat, "I trust myself in every situation. I am worthy of success. I am enough as I am." If you are healing from past pain, you might say, "I release what no longer serves me. I am safe to grow. I am open to love and peace." If you're manifesting abundance, you might declare, "Money flows to me easily. I am aligned with prosperity. I welcome new opportunities with joy." The more you speak these truths, the more they become your inner dialogue. And as your inner dialogue shifts, so does your outer world. Because the law of attraction is always responding to your dominant state. If your inner voice is supportive, strong, and rooted in faith, your energy reflects that. And the reality around you must respond accordingly. Affirmations also work best when paired with elevated emotion. Don't just say the words. Feel them. Let them vibrate through your body. Visualize them as already true, When you say, "I am confident," picture yourself walking into a room with clarity and ease. When you say, "I am abundant," imagine checking your account and smiling with gratitude. Emotion is the fuel that amplifies the affirmation, and repetition is the key that locks it in. So make affirmations part of your daily rhythm. Say them in the mirror. Write them in your journal. Record them in your own voice and play them during your morning walk. Use them as anchors throughout your day. They are not magic spells. They are reminders. Reminders of who you are becoming. Reminders of what you already carry within you. And reminders that your thoughts, when aligned with belief and emotion, create your world. To dive deeper into this practice, we've created a full video on positive affirmations, where you'll learn how to craft personalized statements, how to use them with visualization, and how to shift your identity from within. But for now, begin here. Choose 3 affirmations that resonate with you right now. Repeat them every day for the next 7 days. Speak them with love, with presence, and with power, and watch as your energy begins to change. Watch as your thoughts become more aligned, your confidence grows, and your world responds. Because you are always speaking your future into existence. Choose your words wisely, and let your affirmations lead the way. Another powerful daily practice for cultivating a positive mindset and aligning with the frequency of the life you desire is mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is the art of bringing your full attention into the present moment. It is the practice of observing your thoughts, sensations, and emotions without judgment and without becoming entangled in them. In a world that constantly pulls your focus into the regrets of the past or the worries of the future, mindfulness is your anchor. It brings you back to now, and now is where your power lives. Every time you return to the present moment, you reclaim your ability to respond instead of react, to choose your thoughts instead of being consumed by them. Meditation is the gateway to this state of presence. It is not about emptying your mind. It is about becoming aware of it. It is about watching your thoughts flow like clouds across the sky without getting caught in the storm. Regular meditation helps reduce anxiety, increase emotional stability, and improve your ability to focus. It also enhances your self-awareness, which is essential for applying the law of attraction consciously. When your mind is calm and your awareness is steady, you become more intentional with your vibration. You become more aware of what you are broadcasting to the universe. To help you experience this, let's take a moment for a short guided meditation. Wherever you are, gently close your eyes if you feel safe to do so. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it gently, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Let your shoulders relax. Let your jaw soften, and simply feel yourself sitting or standing in this moment. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the cool air entering your nose and the warm air leaving your lips. Each breath is a reminder that you are alive, that you are safe, and that you are here. If a thought comes, that's okay. Just acknowledge it and return to the breath. There is nowhere to be but here. There is nothing to fix, nothing to control. Just this moment, this stillness, this awareness. With each breath, feel your body becoming lighter, your mind becoming clearer, and your heart opening just a little more. Stay with this for a few more seconds. Inhale calm, exhale tension, inhale clarity, exhale fear. Now gently begin to bring your awareness back to the space around you. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and when you're ready, open your eyes. This simple 2-minute meditation can be practiced anytime during your day, morning, afternoon, or before bed. The more you return to the present moment, the more grounded and magnetic you become. The law of attraction responds not to the noise in your head, but to the clarity in your energy. And clarity is born in presence. So let this be your practice, a daily pause, a moment to return, and a path to peace within. Let mindfulness and meditation be your inner reset, your source of stillness, and your gateway to alignment. Creating and maintaining a positive mindset is not just about what happens inside your mind. It is also deeply influenced by your environment. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, and the content you consume all shape your emotional state and energetic frequency. That is why one of the most effective ways to support your journey with the law of attraction is to cultivate a positive environment that uplifts, inspires, and nourishes your growth. Start with the people in your life. Energy is contagious. The thoughts, words, and beliefs of those around you have a powerful effect on your own mindset. When you regularly spend time with people who are optimistic, supportive, and focused on growth, their energy reinforces your own intentions. On the other hand, being around individuals who constantly complain, criticize, or dwell in fear can drag your vibration down and cloud your focus. It doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out, but it does mean you must become intentional about who gets access to your emotional space. Choose to surround yourself with those who believe in possibility, who challenge you to grow, and who remind you of your worth when you forget it. And if you do not yet have that circle in your real life, begin building it through the content you consume. Read books that inspire your heart and expand your mind. Listen to podcasts that challenge your thinking and motivate your action. Watch videos that remind you of your power and align you with your purpose. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. Every word, image, and sound carries a vibration. So choose content that lifts you. Choose words that feed your soul. And over time, your inner dialogue will begin to reflect those higher frequencies. Another powerful piece of your environment is your physical space. The condition of your home, your room, your workspace, all directly affect your mental clarity and emotional energy. Clutter can create chaos in the mind. Disorganization can lead to distraction. So take time to intentionally clean and organize your space. Make your environment a sanctuary. Let it reflect the peace, beauty, and clarity you want to experience within. Even small changes like letting in natural light, adding plants, or creating a dedicated corner for journaling or meditation can make a huge difference. Your outer space mirrors your inner space, so treat it as sacred. A positive environment is not about perfection. It is about intention. It is about making small, conscious choices every day to align your world with your values and your vision. When your environment supports your growth, it becomes easier to think clearly, feel grounded, and stay in a high vibration. And from that high vibration, the law of attraction begins to respond more quickly and more powerfully. So choose people who lift you. Choose content that fuels you. Create a space that calms and energizes you. And watch how everything begins to shift in your favor. Your environment matters. And when you make it a priority, it becomes one of your greatest allies on your path of transformation. True positive thinking is not just a mental exercise. It is a full-body commitment. That means your physical health is directly connected to your emotional frequency and your ability to apply the law of attraction effectively. When your body feels depleted, your energy drops. When your energy drops, it becomes harder to hold a positive mindset. That is why self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. One of the most essential, but often overlooked parts of self-care is sleep. Your mind and body need rest to recover, integrate, and recharge. Lack of sleep leads to irritability, poor focus, emotional instability, and negative thinking patterns. On the other hand, quality sleep improves mood, enhances decision-making, and helps regulate your emotions, making it easier to maintain a higher vibration throughout the day. So honor your need for rest. Create a bedtime routine that calms your mind. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Dim the lights. Read something uplifting or journal your thoughts. Let your evening become a sacred time of winding down so you can wake up refreshed and aligned. The next key to self-care is nutrition. What you eat becomes the building blocks of your body, your brain, and your energy. Highly processed foods, sugar, and artificial chemicals can cloud your thinking, lower your mood, and drain your vitality. In contrast, whole foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and clean proteins nourish your system from the inside out. They give you clarity, strength, and stable energy. Drinking enough water is also crucial. Even mild dehydration can affect concentration, memory, and mood. When your body is hydrated and well fed, your mind functions better. Your emotions are steadier, and your vibration naturally rises. This creates a clear channel for your intentions to manifest with greater ease. And finally, movement. Physical activity is one of the fastest ways to shift your state. Whether it's walking, dancing, stretching, or working out, movement releases endorphins, reduces stress, and boosts confidence. It helps shake off stuck emotions and re-energize your entire being. You do not need to go to the gym every day. Just find a form of movement you enjoy and make it part of your routine. Even a short walk in the fresh air can reset your mind and bring you back into alignment. When you take care of your body, you send a signal to your subconscious that says, I am worthy, I am important, I matter. And that belief becomes part of your vibration. The law of attraction does not just respond to what you think. It responds to who you are being. And who you are being is influenced by how you treat yourself. So let your self-care be a declaration of self-love. Let it be the foundation of your energy. Sleep deeply, eat consciously, move joyfully, hydrate fully, and watch how your mental clarity, emotional balance, and manifestation power expand. Because when your body is supported, your mind becomes stronger, your heart opens wider, and your vibration becomes unstoppable. Positive thinking is not just about feeling good. It is a conscious choice to align your thoughts, emotions, and energy with the reality you wish to create. It is a tool, a practice, and a way of being that empowers you to step out of limitation and into possibility. Throughout this video, we have explored the deep connection between thought and vibration, the science that validates how your mind shapes your experience, and the daily practices that build mental and emotional resilience. You now understand that every thought you entertain carries a frequency, and that frequency, whether high or low, determines what you attract. This is not a matter of wishful thinking. It is energetic alignment. It is you becoming the version of yourself that already lives in the reality you are calling in. By identifying and reshaping negative mental patterns, you reclaim the power to direct your focus toward what uplifts you. Through gratitude, affirmations, mindfulness, and self-care, you raise your emotional baseline and become a match for peace, purpose, and abundance. And perhaps most importantly, you now realize that positivity is not a destination you reach. It is a journey you commit to. Some days will feel easier than others. Some thoughts will feel heavier than others. But the more you return to awareness, the more you choose love over fear and presence over panic, the stronger your foundation becomes. You are not required to be perfect. You are simply invited to be intentional. And every small shift in perspective creates a ripple effect that shapes your life in ways you cannot yet see. The journey of transformation begins not in grand leaps, but in quiet, consistent moments of choosing differently. Choosing to speak kinder words to yourself. Choosing to pause and breathe before reacting. choosing to believe in the possibility of something better, choosing to surround yourself with what nourishes your soul. These choices, made day after day, become the architecture of a new reality. And now, having laid this foundation of positive thinking, you are ready to take the next step, because once your thoughts are aligned, the next phase is to activate your imagination, to go beyond thinking and into seeing, to visualize the life you want as if it is already yours. And that is exactly what we will explore in the next video of this series. Visualization is the bridge between the mental and the material. It is the practice of embodying your future with such clarity and emotion that your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins to align your actions, beliefs, and outcomes accordingly. So if you are ready to turn your thoughts into images and your desires into lived experiences, do not miss our next episode, The Secret Power of Visualization. Click now to continue your journey and discover how to use your imagination as a magnet for manifestation. And while you are here, we want to hear from you. What is one positive thought or mindset shift that has changed your life? What is your favorite tip for staying in a high vibration, even when challenges arise? Share it in the comments below. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to like it. Your support helps this message reach more people who are on the path of conscious creation and self-discovery. And if you want more content on mindset, energy, and the law of attraction, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We are building a community of empowered creators who are rewriting their stories and manifesting their highest potential. So join us, share your voice, and let's rise together. Remember, positive thinking is not about denying reality. It is about choosing the lens through which you view it. And when your lens is colored by trust, gratitude, and belief, the world mirrors it back to you in beautiful and unexpected ways. You have more power than you think. You are already worthy. You are already capable. And you are already becoming the version of yourself that your dreams have been waiting for. Keep showing up. Keep choosing the light. And we will see you in the next video, where your vision becomes the blueprint for your reality. Until then, stay present, stay open, and stay aligned. Your future is listening, and it is ready when you are.